Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the FrostBytez Gaming Experience, part 22 of the Pokemon Emerald walkthrough, where for starters, we are actually going to be looking at talking about the game Pokemon Emerald itself. We spent the past couple parts really not going out of our way to talk about Emerald because, well, we were going through route number 119. It's a really long route with a whole bunch of hidden items. Not really much to talk about in that instance, other than dodging out on talking about the cast form because, well, I'm not going to use cast form. The only thing cool about cast form is whatever the weather is, he'll turn into that type. And that's really about it. Not exactly a great Pokemon, you know? So it's like, oh, hey, if it's raining out, then boom, you're suddenly a water type. But again, not exactly all that great. And the same is probably going to be said for where we are right now, route number 120, where there's not going to be a whole lot to talk about Route 20 when we actually go through it. We're only going to be going through a small portion of it right now. And the reason being for that is because after a certain distance, we're going to run into Steven, and we're going to get ourselves a pair of goggles that lets us see invisible Pokemon. Or in the case of, you know, going against a camouflaged Pokemon that is pretty much all over Route, well, not really all over, it's really within a confined area in Route number 119, some parts of Route 20, but more specifically in the town we just went on through, in the Fortree town. Fortree City, I should say. It's not even just a town, it's a full city. Fortree City. There is a gym there, but we have no capabilities of accessing the gym because, well, there's something blocking our way, and it's completely invisible. And it's the invisible Pokemon, well, the camouflage Pokemon, Kecleon. The one that, whenever you hit it, it'll transform itself into whatever damaging move you used against it. Again, not exactly that good of a Pokemon, kind of like how Castform. Again, not exactly a good Pokemon because you're capable of, you know, you are the one that's in control going against it in what it's going to turn into and how you can utilize that to your advantage. You know, in the sense of Kecleon, well, in the sense of both of them, it means that it's hard for them to get really good stab moves. Because with Kecleon, you know, let's say you have, you know, you got yourself a ground move, a fire move, a dark move, and then a grass move, I guess. Well, what if your opponent turns you into a fighting type? Well, then suddenly you don't have stab on any of your moves. And it's not like Kecleon has that good of stats anyways, you know, so it kind of hurts it out. As you can see right there, just an invisible, you know, thing in my way, can't really deal with it. Actually, it's really funny because I did not know that there was an invisible Kecleon behind that sign over there. I kind of knew a general idea of where all the other Kecleons are without routes 119, 120, and Fortree City. But that one really just kind of threw me off, where I was like, wait a minute, why is there one just behind a sign? You know? But the other weird thing about the invisible Kecleons is you have one that's blocking your way to the gym. All right. You have one that's next to Steven blocking your way as a means to give you the ability to see them anyways. Okay. But then the other Kecleons are just kind of there to battle, and they're okay for experience because they're level 30, and I believe they give like a total of 520 experience points or something like that. So yeah, it's a pretty good chunk of experience points for a Pokemon that's really easy to take out. But in some cases, they're put in a location where you might think, oh, there's going to be something hidden behind here. And there's not. More specifically, one that we go against in route number 119, because the plan of this part is, as you can tell with how long it is, and obviously with the thumbnail, yes, we are going to be going against the Fortree City gym leader. But where was I going with this? I just completely blacked out. What the hell was I talking about? Holy crap, I'm not even that old yet, folks, and already my brain's like, I'm already forgetting what I was talking about like 2 seconds ago. So yeah, I'm going against Fortree City, but what was my point about that? I don't even know. Oh, okay, that's right. Oh, Boy, oh boy, I was like, wait a minute, what was I talking about? Okay, yeah, so yeah, we're going to be going against Fortree City. So the biggest thing about this, obviously, with doing that is that we're going to be getting the goggles, so we have the chance of getting to the Fortree City gym in the first place. But to take advantage of that, we're also going to be getting ourselves some extra level ups ahead of time, so we're actually going to be going past Fortree City, back to route number 119, to go against the Kecleons in those areas. And one in particular, when we head back there in this part to go against, where it's positioned is right in front of a dead end where a bunch of trees are at. And usually when something like that happens, the idea is, oh, there's a hidden item over here. That's not the case when it comes to, you know, this particular area we're going to be going to, though, which is very strange to me. It's like, okay, cool. You're kind of tricking us into thinking that there's something there and there's nothing really there, which is genius in a troll sense, you know? I mean, if I was creating a game and I had like a lot of instances where it's like, hey, you know, if it's obvious that a hidden item's here, then, you know, more than half the time, hell, 90% of the time, you know, there's gonna be an item there. And I am the kind of person that'd be like, oh yeah, I'll get you into that idea, and then I'll suddenly not have something there. And that's it kind of feels like something, you know, that I would do, where it's like, oh, there's a Kecleon here, you take care of it, cool, let's go get the item. There is no item. It was literally just 1130 Kecleon. Alrighty. So yeah, oh my goodness, I can't believe that just happened. You saw it here first, folks. Frosty Will losing his mind, quite literally, to the point where sometimes my thought process can get a little too tunneled vision onto something, where I just completely forget everything else. Like I've told you guys numerous times, I don't really have the best memory in the world. And boy, did that really showcase, I mean, especially short-term memory. My short-term memory is garbage. It always has been. One of the biggest things I always struggled with back in school was reading. Because I would read a page, turn the page, and in most cases I would forget about what it was I just read about. Now, sometimes that was mostly because, oh, hey, you know, whatever I was reading wasn't all that interesting to me. And that is a very fair thing. But in most cases, I really would try to remember it, and it would just go right on through. And that's kind of what just happened to me right here. I was talking about something, and then I was like, okay, yeah, let's talk about the gym for 2 seconds. And then suddenly it was like, oh, I don't even remember what the hell I was talking about. It can get really bad, folks. And it hits you kind of early. Again, I'm not even that old. I'm not even in my 30s yet, and it's already happening to me. That is so bad. But once again, it's been a thing that I've struggled with my whole entire life. So I'm not going to make it seem like, oh, it's because I'm getting old kind of thing. No, even when I was really young, I struggled with that. And that's, again, it's a good and a bad thing, you know. In the bad case, you know, forgetting things so consistently really sucks. But in the good way, it can make some games fun all over again, because literally I can play a game and then a year later play that exact same game and remember nothing. You know, and that's the biggest reason why whenever I do my Let's Plays recently, I should say, I've been going my way to test play them ahead of time, because I can't trust my own memory of what I remember happening in a game a year ago, and then suddenly I get stuck for a little bit longer than I should. You know, now, when it comes to the Pokemon games, it's also because, oh, I want to make sure I know where all these items are. But I know for a fact I could not do a full walkthrough of Pokemon, any of the Pokemon games, without doing a test playthrough, because my memory just will not allow me to do it whatsoever. Alright, with all the Kecleons taken out of the way, we're going to be heading on into the gym itself. This particular Kecleon that is standing in our way, you know, he just kind of flees. Or she. We don't know what type it is, really, because we don't get to battle it. But it flees completely. And here we are. We're in the Fortree City gym. You have 6 trainers that we're going to be going up against, and then the gym leader herself. And you have 2 double battles, so really you have a total of 4 battles that you're going to be doing. And obviously, because we're going against flying types, we are going to keep using Magnemite, because we're almost at the level 30, where we can get ourselves our Magneton and just make it all the easier. You know, it's kind of like how towards the beginning of this walkthrough, I was utilizing Togetic for a while. Not Togetic. Torchic. God, I'm brain. It hurts. Torchic, to the point where I got the first level up to get the fighting move at the right time going against the gym leader, so I could take it out no problem. Same kind of thing here, you know, Magnemite, we're going to get it to the Magneton at the right time for going against the gym leader. Not that it really matters too much because, again, the thing that I like about Magnemite and Magneton is the fact that it is a part Steel type. And especially when it comes into this gym, all of the moves basically being used against you are flying types. Steel is resistant to that. You know, they have normal type moves. Steel is resistant to that. So Magnemite is just such a flawless pick for when it comes to this until you get to the gym leader herself with a particular Pokemon. But once we get to that point, we will in fact get to that point. But yeah, if you... going back to what I was talking about earlier, because we're mostly going against a bunch of trainers, there's not a whole lot to talk about. The double battles, this is like the longest one because they use 6, and my strategy with it, based on what we're going against, is, for one thing, we're going to get hit by as many Fury Cutters as possible from this Doduo, but at the same time, we're going to be looking to take out all of the Swablues on the left before going against the Pokemon on the right side, because the Pokemon on the right is a Doduo, a Skarmory, and a Tropicus, I can't remember its name off the top of my head, the grass flying type. And I'd much rather Doduo do its not as strong attacks on us, even though he's going to hit all 5 times, every single time against Repinch, whatever, don't care. The Swablu has the chance of utilizing Sing, and we don't want to be going against a Skarmory or a Tropicus all that much, while also being hit with, you know, Hypnosis, falling asleep, all of that garbage. So yeah, aside from that, one of the biggest ways you can tell how horrible my memory is, go back and watch my walkthrough. It's a really outdated walkthrough. Not a walkthrough, it was a Let's Play. And it's one that I kind of want to redo at some point because I've got a way better computer that can render. And I actually know what I'm doing this time. When I was doing my Mission Impossible Operation Surma run, which actually ended up being a little bit popular. I think it's just because not a lot of people play that for YouTube, and it's just a game that I enjoy. Yeah, you watch that, and even on like the first level, you see me make so many mistakes. Now, granted, some of the mistakes were because I had really garbage third-party. Nintendo GameCube controller, and I would swap it out with other really garbage third-party GameCube controllers, and it was a really big pain in the ass because some of them, it's like, okay, the right trigger doesn't work as well, the C-stick doesn't work well on the other. They're third-party. What can you do? Now I've got an official Nintendo licensed GameCube controller that I know I can actually utilize. But at the same time, back then I didn't test play the games before playing them, before recording them, because I was like, oh yeah, I played this a couple years ago. I know exactly what I'm doing. And then I would get lost. And the one time that you could actually see, you know, when that was when I started doing more test plays, because then you saw later on in the Operation Surma, you saw me then actually knowing where I was going and what I was doing, because I test played beforehand, because I'm like, I can't trust my memory. I'm going to get it completely wrong. And I did. I got it completely wrong so many times. And then finally, you know, I ended up getting it right, you know? But, yeah, no, it is a problem for me, unfortunately. And so, yeah, because of that, I got to test play all the time for literally every single game that I'm doing, unless it's literally a blind run. Which, speaking of which, if you are watching this and you were also a watcher of the Toho Luna Nights run, next week, because yesterday I uploaded the last part of the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Let's Play that me and James are doing currently. It was the 3rd case. We're going to be heading on into the 4th case, but we haven't even started recording the 4th case yet because there's a lot of things we're looking to do. We got to reset our schedules again because more things have changed for us. We're also adding in a 3rd voice along with the 2 of ours, so be looking forward to that at some point, but it's not going to be anytime soon. So because of that, we are going to be looking into continuing on Luna Luna Nights. Oh, it's a rough day, folks, let me tell you. And it's not even, it's like just a little past noon. I still have a lot I got to get done. Anyways, yeah. The Toho Luna Nights finally brought on the next part of the game, I guess. I don't know if it's going to be done, but it, you know, if you did watch that and you were waiting for me to do the other half of it, well, it'll probably be up next week. because it literally took me 20 minutes to beat the next half of everything. Like, it's really not all that hard. So, yeah, be looking forward to that if you were already looking forward to it. And if not, and you don't even know what I'm talking about, and you like Metroidvania games, go check it out, To Luna Nights. It's a relatively fun game, even though the story is garbage in my opinion. It felt very rushed and put together. No, it's a fun game. I enjoy it. So, yeah, I'll be doing the DLC for that. I'll probably be recording it after I finish doing this. Well, because, again, I got so much other stuff I got to get done as well. And then, yeah, after that, so what are we going to be looking into? Because Emeralds could probably be going on for the rest of the summer, if I had to take a guess. We're on Gym Leader number 6, but there's, you know, as you saw, if you ever looked at the map, there's a lot that we have to do when it comes to going against every trainer and getting every item. And I still want to showcase where the legendaries are as best that I can. We've got a long ways to go. This is, and we're already towards the end of June. Well, we're about halfway through June. Yeah, we're sitting, yeah, so June 20th. You know, we're almost at the end of June. I'm pretty sure Pokemon Emerald is going to go the rest of the summer. But again, because I just finished uploading the last part of the current case we were doing on Ace Attorney, I need to start delving into some other stuff. To Luna Nights is going to be one of them, doing the, you know, the rest of that. Unless they add even more. But, you know, I'll worry about that when the time comes. But I don't think so. It didn't seem like they were looking to do that. What was the other half of it? Oh, yeah. I will more than likely try and finish Secret of Evermore. I ended up getting a comment that explained to me what it was that I needed to do to get through a certain maze that I was stuck on that caused me to kind of quit playing the game because it was like the 4th maze in a row, and it was like, I'm just sick and tired of mazes right now. Just, like, leave me alone. So, but now that I know how to go through the maze, I may go on my way and continue playing that, because it turns out I was actually pretty close to being done with that game, so I might go ahead and give a look into that. And gosh, I don't know, I'm going to take a look at what sounds good as far as recording goes, because on top of that, you know, like I said, some changes are going through. My scheduling's a little bit all over the place a bit, but even then, hopefully I will be getting into, hopefully, a new job relatively soon that gives me a better schedule to potentially start streaming again. I'm not going to say that I am going to get back into streaming, because I've said that so many times and it's never happened. There's potential, but that's really about it. Just a small portion of potential. There's one game that I really want to play and kind of stream, and it might even be one that I don't even plan on bringing to YouTube. I'll probably end up keeping YouTube and Twitch separate. But at the same time, you do know that if I am going to be streaming a particular game, I eventually am going to start streaming Nuzlocke runs, other Pokemon stuff. But it just depends. You know, I got to see if I do end up getting this new job, and we kind of got to go from there. So a lot of my focus has been going a bit into that, along with the fact of, you know, trying to figure out Pokemon and whatnot. And then I just need to figure out what other kind of games I'm going to be doing. I have one in mind, but it is also one that I plan on doing a review for, because I said it earlier in the year, I was planning on eventually getting back into doing reviews for YouTube. I'm not exactly sure 100%. I'm still kind of looking to probably doing that, but it's not 100% certain. There is a game that just recently came out that I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I am going to do it, then this will probably be the game that I'll be doing a first review for. We'll see how that goes. I'm not 100% sure. And then hopefully this upcoming Sunday, I will be able to upload my thoughts on E3. Not exactly sure, and mostly just depends on how things fall into place. But for right now, Winona, whatever. I'm so bad at saying it. Starting off with a Swablu level 29 with Perish Song, Mirror Move, Safeguard, and Aerial Ace. Thank goodness we get the Thunderbolt out first and take care of it, because if it used Perish Song, you know, I don't want Magneton to faint at some point, so thank goodness we don't have to worry about that. Now, next up, Winona is going to have enough of our shit and is going to send out her best Pokemon in Altaria. And we're going to be bringing in Solrock. Reason being, because Altaria's move list is Dragon Breath, Dragon Dance, Aerial Ace, and Earthquake. A move that I completely forgot in my test run and completely destroyed my Magneton. I'm like, crap, it knows Earthquake. So I was like, alright, well, I got Solrock with Levitate and has Rock Throw, which is going to be even better because Altaria being part Dragon type, meaning that even Thunderbolt only does normal damage and not super effective damage, whereas Rock Throw is going to give me the super effective damage. Also holds on to an Oran Berry, as you saw just used, and she does have Hyper Potion, so basically, we needed a lot of luck here. We needed Solrock to do a number of things. We needed to hit every single Rock Throw, which he does. We especially did not need the Dragon Breath to either crit us or paralyze us. It didn't do either of those, and because of that, Altaria was taken care of. And Altaria was really the only Pokemon that had a capability of taking out Magneton. The rest is all going to be Magneton just running Pain Train on it. Boy, am I glad I decided at the last minute, many parts ago, to actually pick up Solrock on my team instead of what I was originally going to pick. Because, wow, would this gym have been a massive problem with it knowing Earthquake and me not really having a means of taking out Altaria. So I'm very glad I did that. Trapias here, level 29 with Sunny Day, Aerial Ace, Solar Beam, and Synthesis. And I don't think it had the chance to set up the Sunny Day. I think it went for Aerial Ace right out of the gate. Aerial Ace is going to be the one move that you're going to be seeing used consistently, because Aerial Ace is going to be the move that we get at the end of it. And Aerial Ace is the flying type move that is 60 damage and a 100% chance guaranteed to hit no matter what, unless you're using Dig, Fly, Dive, or Protection, Detect, all those kind of moves. One that doesn't care about accuracy. Unlike Thunderbolt, because the Skarmory, that uses Sand Attack, Fury Attack, Steel Wing, and Aerial Ace, level 31, I guess had the godliest of Sand Attacks in the very beginning, because, you know, going from 100% chance to hit Thunderbolt to suddenly 0 and then missing twice over, boy, that really sucked. But that's why we keep ourselves Shockwave, because we do want moves that are guaranteed chances to hit, especially when it comes through a walkthrough like this, because we don't want to be wasting too much time. Okay, that's why we have that. That's why we will probably have Aerial Ace at some point. That's why we have Feint Attack. You know, I like moves that guaranteed hit. I really do. You know, and surprisingly, I didn't think Shockwave would actually do that much damage. I know Magneton's special attack really does get a big boost out of it, but even then, I still thought I had to hit it like 3 times to beat Skarmory, but man, actually relatively strong. And then finally we have ourselves a level 30 Pelipper, Water Gun, Supersonic, Protect, and Aerial Ace. So again, really, Altaria is the only Pokemon you have to worry about because of it being part Dragon type, so it has a whole bunch of resistances. We haven't really learned any Ice-type moves yet, nor have we gotten any Ice-type TMs. You can get, I believe it's Ice Beam. You should be able to get that in the Gambling Center, so if you want to waste time to get that TM, to get a guaranteed Ice move to use against Altaria, be my guest. But yeah, Altaria with an Earthquake, really tough, especially with the Dragon Dance as well, because then it's such a good setup move that, God, it's so crazy to deal with. But luckily, Solrock came in the clutch with us, nailed every single one of the rock throws, didn't get paralyzed, didn't get crit. Literally everything that I needed Solrock to do, it did. And it's really making me eat my words against how much I really dislike rock-type Pokemon, because Solrock has just been in the clutch for us. So yeah, Fortress City is done. We get ourselves our call from Scott, because this dude is really creeping on us, and he's already stated, oh, maybe you are the trainer I've been looking for. It's like, I really need an adult with this guy. How has the police not picked him up yet? I mean, seriously, this dude is beyond creepy. Anyways, with Fortress City Gym out of the way, we now have the ability to use Fly, but we don't have a Pokemon that can fly just yet. But we're very close. Trapinch is very close to getting to Vibrava, so we will be able to get Fly relatively soon. But until then, I hope you folks enjoy the rest of your evenings, and we will catch you all in the next part.